Okay. All right. One last questions. In your last, well, it might have been your last live stream. You said you hate 99% of people on Twitter, not people on Twitter, but of Twitter. So one of the questions, I just thought that was funny. I mean, tell it like it is, man. If you can keep doing that, you're going to find your way in life. I mean, there's no point in beating around the bush. So one of the questions, the final question, name one thing you love about our online Packer community, Packer Twitter as it is. And by the way, it's Thirsty Thursday on Packer Twitter. If you missed it, a new thing. Name one thing you love about our online Packer community and anything you hate.
Okay. So this is an easy answer, almost cliche for what I love, but it's really just the people. Because there's just so many people on here that, you start off and you get to meet them because of that shared interest of just being Packers fans. But then you get to meet them, you follow them for so many years, and you find out they're really interesting, kind people. And that's what I really love about getting to talk to some of them. Me and Big B have been so lucky to have a bunch of different guests on and just get to know them, and just really make friends from Packers Twitter. Like, I think one of my great friends, Carol, we talk all the time. We play Wordle together. And I was thinking about this the other day, in no other circumstances would it be maybe even socially acceptable for like a 16-year-old to be friends online with an adult woman. But, we're Packers fans. We're on Packers Twitter. So, that's just why. So, and it's just like all these other people that are great to talk to. One thing that I don't love, and when I say I hate 99% of Packers Twitter, it's not the people because, well, and it might be the people because my mute list is just so long, so I might just not see all of them. But they're just the somehow some people fan irks me. And one thing specifically that I could pinpoint is people's vendetta against certain players and their targeting of certain players that they hate. Of just and there's this idea of sometimes these people hate these players so much that when they fail, they are so excited that they get to go on Twitter and say, I was right. And I am certainly about that way with some players, not in the way of hating, but when in the exact opposite way of when they succeed, I am so eager to go on Twitter and say I was right. And it's exactly because of those people. And you better believe when Jordan Love or any other player that plenty of Packers Twitter likes to hate or doubt on, I will be very obnoxious for telling people I was right. So it's just that, and also what plays into that is people's thoughts on the decision of how they were brought in, I guess. With Kevin Keane, they shouldn't have paid him this offseason, or they could have had blah, blah, blah drafted over him, and some other players like that. At the end of the day, those are Packers players. It seems like you are rooting for their failure. At the end of the day, you can be mad at Brian Gutekunst or the front office on how they operated, on why these guys are even on the team, but you should be rooting for their success. So sometimes Packers Twitter can get on my nerves, but most of the time I love the people.
Well said. Well said. I definitely share that sentiment. We've kind of talked about that. My thing is, in fact, I corrected my question when I said one thing you hate. It's no, we don't hate. It's what we maybe I forgot how it said, but we would like to improve on, because it's a continuum and we all can learn, and we've all had our bad moments and things. But there are some that are just there for that, habitually, and we know that, and that's not Packers Twitter. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's endemic to social media in general. Of course, people can just go on and say what they want to without consequence, because MVS isn't going to punch him in the face because it's digital. So there's certainly that allure for people who want to do that for that reason. But you're exactly right, Joe. I mean, first of all, they're people. I mean, these are real people. They might seem like these abstract ideas of people who play like on your TV, but they're real people. And exactly, they're Packers, and we should be rooting for all the Packers players.
Yep.
That's right. And I think we've talked about this before, and we like to think that a lot of these players, they have their people that take care of things in their social media and whatnot, but you can be sure that they read things that people say. And I just don't, and I, like you said, Matt, it's endemic to social media, but would you say that to a person's face, especially a football player? I mean, come on, right. They're big.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, why would you want to hurt someone's feelings or take someone down a notch at any point for any reason? Yeah, we try to keep it positive, and we love that. Well, thank you for that. That was very insightful. You're wise beyond your years. You will go far, young son.
Don, you never sounded older.
I know. I'm making myself sound like a grandmother because he's 16. I want to be a grandma. I think where I'm saying I'm old all the time is because I'm not a grandmother. So I want to adopt all these people.
Well, you're Jamie's honorary grandmother at this point. So that was
granny. Yep. Okay. So normally at this point, I go where we're at the season. Obviously, everyone knows we're in the playoffs. We're all super excited. Whoever you're rooting for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this week, whether you're AFC, NFC, or all of the above. Joey, do you watch all the games? I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even during the regular season, put the red zone on, like sit back for 9 hours. Perfect.
What's wrong with me? I'm so glad I'm meeting these people who are, it's like, I just don't know what started. Once I started, I got it, after years and years of being like, I don't care about the Packers, and my family going, I was like, oh my gosh, I just like it clicked. And I'm just the most obnoxious fan now. Okay. So normally I go through where we're at. We know we're all, no matter who we're rooting for, and whoever's listening, Packers fans and other fans, may the best man win, because that's how I feel. May the best team win. My favorite part of games is, I think I mentioned it last week, is after the game when everyone shakes each other's hands usually. And I mean, I just think it's beautiful. I have to watch that, and when they cut it off short, I get really irritated, but I love that. I love seeing it. And I think that's the best part. It's a game, and it's fun, and sportsmanship is really a beautiful thing. So super excited for Packers fan. Wow. All these people coming back like that we hoped. So I think Matt's going to get into that a little bit with
I will. We'll get to it. Yeah.
So we'll just kind of transition over to our main theme of this show, which is our superlatives. And I'm going to defer. I have one little funny thing I might or might not play for you. But Joey, did you bring us any superlatives this week?
I did. So the first thing that I wanted to shout out, and I'm sure plenty of people saw this, but Tom Grossi always does some charity thing. He always has some charity thing going on. And just a few weeks back, he did, I believe it was the 24-hour stream. I think this was what it was benefiting, was a fund for childhood cancer, kids with cancer. And he raised over $51,000 for that. So nice. That was pretty incredible. And I know Tom has a lot of fans just around the NFL, but it is pretty crazy just to see that, like, just this one guy. I'm not trying to insult Tom here, but he's just this one guy, a retired teacher in his basement watching football games, can have that much of an impact.
really impressed. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, Matt? I'm sorry.
No, it was simultaneous. It's all good. I was gonna say that it's one of the things I love most about Tom Grossi, and man, I love that guy, is that he uses his power for good. You know, that he'll find like causes, charities, things like this. He'll get the Grossi posse in action, and it's amazing.
Yeah, one story about Tom Grossi that so I met him at training camp, and I just wanted to share this story because it felt like the coolest moment of my life, because I was talking to Tom, I was talking to Maggie Perry, just like after practice, and Tom is having all these like kids come up to him and ask him, "Oh, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph?" Maybe not an autograph, that might have been too far, but definitely pictures and whatever. Just saying hi. And then like in between all of that, I was just having conversations with him, and I was, so just hanging out with him. So it felt like, oh, yeah, your famous friend, you guys can get your autograph. Let me talk to him next. So
he's lovely, and I watched every one of his live streams. Probably the first year that I started really becoming a Packer fan. I wasn't on the conversation as much because I was like, I am just like this person, but I watched all the comments, and I was there. I was there when he didn't have that many followers, and then he went to his 100,000, and he was so excited when he hit 100K, and then he retired from his teaching job. It's just, he's so real. Joey, yeah. I want to tell you this. I really feel like you have shades of those characteristics yourself. I really do. And that's why I said, just be yourself. That's one thing, that maybe somebody of my age, we felt like we had to conform. I know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm just saying. So
much focus on your age today.
No.
Generational thing. We felt like we had to conform more. And now what I really appreciate about culture today, let's just not put an age on it, is that people are more willing to just be who they are and put themselves out there. We don't necessarily have to go to, the 4 or 8 year degree or whatever. It's not. The world has changed,
right? And I don't want to add too many unnecessary tidbits, but like just add on to that. Like I feel specifically with podcasts and just Twitter in general, Tom is, like you said, Tom is really good at that. But I think one mistake, not that I'm a super expert, but one mistake that a lot of people make when starting to make a podcast or YouTube videos or whatever, especially young people, I think, like you said, they're trying to conform, and they want to be shown off as super smart. They're like super articulate, super like really into it. But you can't take yourself too seriously. And like me and Big B are very upfront that we know, like, very little expertise when it comes to football, but we're watching the game the same way you are, but we're just going to have a funny commentary of it. We're going to try our best, and we're going to have our little own personality add-ons and funny things. And we just try to be ourselves, have a Dr. Pepper, and have a good time.
I love the Dr. Pepper, and I was going to get some for tonight, but I remember that about you. I love that. I love that.
And that's kind of a thing that Don and I have talked about before, about a good podcast is just basically a recording of a conversation that people are having.
Right.
We're just here to talk about stuff that we love, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially in today when literally you can anybody can have a podcast. And like the one thing you got to realize, like when you get NFL and then you divide it down to even smaller category of the Packers, there's so many people that can tell you the Packers news and just lay it out some expert thoughts, but you got to find your own special thing that makes people want to listen.
Yeah, definitely don't come to me for that, because first of all, I have like short-term memory loss, and that has nothing to do with my age. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. But yeah, no, you're right. And I think people really enjoy just kind of like peering into a conversation that maybe they would like to have, or they didn't have, or it might spark some thoughts, or feelings. That's it. It's really simple.
Yeah.
I love that. And no, you can add as many tidbits as you want.
Yeah, seriously.
So
Keep the tidbits flowing.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so that's a great superlative, and I did not catch that because I've been living under a rock for a couple of weeks, but go Tom Grossi, that doesn't surprise me. He's lovely, and that's pretty cool, and it kind of brings to mind Big B, because he's always on my heart.
Yep.
What he went through when he and I was so glad he shared that news, with all of us. It was a privilege that he did share that, and he's sharing his journey to some degree, and we're never tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
Support,
It was really a personal news for him to share, and he's come a long way.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what's your second one, Joey?
So I forgot to say that my superlative title for that Tom was overall good person. And then I want to shout out the best interview, which was Matt LaFleur on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Madison, obviously. So they had Matt LaFleur on their show, and I saw they were promoting on Twitter that he's going to be on in like 10 minutes. So I tuned in, and it was a really good interview. And they also pulled out, which kind of erupted on Packers Twitter, of Matt LaFleur's appearance in one of the Bell and Health commercials, where he says, "Oh, is that a pancreas?" And it is absolutely hilarious. And I am so glad that Jason and Mark brought that up in their interview, because us Wisconsin people, I've heard rumblings of Matt LaFleur's acting ability in those commercials, but we never get to see them. So I'm so glad that Jason brought that out there.
Yeah, no, totally. Like I'm sad that we don't get to see those. Like being able to see that this week and a couple of others that I looked up, they're hilarious, man. That was a pancreas. Like that's amazing. So good.
When I go home to visit my family, and I see Matt LaFleur on commercials and Rodgers and things that you don't see out here in California, I'm like, oh, there's Coach. They get to see this.
And all we get is the Aaron Rodgers State Farm commercials that we get to say repeated over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. Now I'm going to look that one up, and we all will have Joey's links as we always do with our own in the show notes. Okay, so we'll have a link for that.
Right. I did have one more I want to shout out, and that was my friend Tyler here, and he put it out. So everybody was down on Jordan Love. So I'm calling Tyler the Twitter historian of this week, because he found some clips of Aaron Rodgers playing against the Buffalo Bills in his second year, and it didn't look like Aaron Rodgers. So I think that was just a good clip to put out there on Sunday night.
Very good. Yeah, perspective, people. Come
exactly
on.
And that actually, if I may, that transitions really well into my first superlative.